morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for your world. Hi, humans. It's so great to be with you guys here today on day 4 of this prayer and fasting and Bible reading as we get closer to God. In the beginning of the year, we have decided to kind of disconnect from certain things, eating certain things, behaving certain ways, participating in certain things, just so that we can get closer to God. We're asking God during this time of prayer and fasting, we're asking God to give us clearer vision. Some of us don't know where we're going, what we're doing, what's happening in life, and this is the time that we're setting apart to be able to ask God for clarity in all areas of our life. So today our focus is for vision in our relationships, and it's not necessarily just romantic relationship. Can be parenting relationship, can be friendship relationship, can be employment relationships, just relationship as a whole. We're asking God to give us clarity in that. One of my prayers is, and I do this all the time on a regular, is I'm always asking God to close the doors around me and remove the people around me that are not going to help me align myself with your will. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. Some are, but doesn't necessarily mean that these opportunities are bad, these friendships are bad, these relationships are bad. It just means that they don't align with what my purpose is. And so I pray that for myself. I encourage you to do the same and just kind of take a step back and look at our relationships. In Proverbs 27:17, it tells us that as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. When I was reading the entire chapter, I found it interesting because I felt that every verse was a piece of instruction or direction all by itself. Not even just the whole chapter as a whole, but each individual verse is a whole different nugget of information and sense of direction. It almost felt like when I was reading it, as if I was hearing my dad or my mom giving me some instructions as I was growing up, those moments, not when they were correcting me or when they were telling me what to do, but just those moments of wisdom, those little nuggets that our parents give us sometimes that we don't want to agree to them or say that we like them or anything like that, but later on in life we're like, oh yeah, mom and dad were actually right. So that's kind of how I felt when I was reading Proverbs 27. Just felt like every verse was some sense of direction, some sense of instruction. So as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another, and that aligns with what our prayer is this for this day, and it is for God to give us vision for our relationships. Again, that just as I am bettering myself to be a friend to someone else, to sharpen someone else, to encourage someone else, to teach someone else, to correct someone else, to lead someone else. I also pray for those that are going to sharpen me. I also want to be around those people that are going to lead me in the right direction, that are going to correct me when I need to be corrected, those that are going to encourage me when I need to be encouraged, and those that will call me out when I need to be called out as well. So let us be that person. Let us be that iron that can sharpen someone else, but not only let us be that, let us pray that those around us can be that to us. I remember one of the biggest things that I was very adamant about when my son was growing up was that I wanted to make sure that I surrounded him with people that had like-minded as me, that believed like I believed, or similar to what I believed. Maybe they didn't practice like how I practiced, or maybe they didn't speak how I spoke, or maybe they didn't do the things that I did, but that in their core, that they had God in their lives, that they had the same principles that I have, not only just godly but morally, and just how I would function in my work ethic, and just in different areas. I wanted to surround him with people that were like-minded. That way, whenever because of course he wasn't going to come to me all the time, I wanted to make sure that whoever he went to were sound people that had good values, good morals, good ethics. I wanted him to go to that, so that way we as a community, because we need a village, can kind of mold him into a great man in the future that can contribute to society, can be an image bearer of Christ. And so I believe that that's what this is saying as well, that as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Let us be careful who we surround ourselves. Let us be careful who we share our intimate thoughts, our intimate emotions. Let us be careful who we share our vulnerability with. Because again, like I always say, no, not everyone should have access to your vulnerability. Not everyone should have access to your safe space. But some people should. They should have that, because we are not perfect and we need one another to help one another grow. And the word tells us that we sharpen one another, we help one another, we grow one another, we hold one another accountable. We need one another. We can't do life alone. So I encourage you to find those irons around you that can help you grow. But I also ask and I also pray that we sharpen ourselves, that you and I can sharpen ourselves so that we can be that to sharpen others. But just as we're asking others to support us and to help us and to call us out, we should be that strong to do that to others as well. So I encourage you to be a sharpened iron to sharpen others. Have an amazing day. Talk to you soon.